Christmas Eve, 1945, Fayetteville, West Virginia. The Sodder family, George and Jennie, along with their 9 children, settled in for a peaceful night. Presents were wrapped, stockings hung, and the promise of joy filled their home. But what began as a serene evening would soon descend into a decades-long saga of mystery and heartbreak, leaving an indelible mark on American folklore. The calm was shattered just past 1 a.m. A sudden blaze erupted, consuming their house with terrifying speed. George Sodder, woken by the smoke, sprang into action, shouting to awaken his family. 4 of the children managed to escape: Marion, John, George Jr., and Sylvia. But 5 children, Morris, Martha, Louis, Jennie, and Betty, remained inside. George frantically tried to re-enter to retrieve ladders that were mysteriously absent from their usual spot. His truck, which usually started without issue, refused to turn over. Every attempt to reach the children was thwarted by unforeseen obstacles. Jennie Sodder, the mother, made a frantic call to the fire department, but the phone line was unresponsive. A neighbor tried from a nearby house, only to find their line also mysteriously out of order. When the call finally went through, the fire station was surprisingly slow to respond, eventually arriving hours later. By the time firefighters reached the scene, the house had been reduced to a smoldering ruin. The Sodders watched in agony, knowing their 5 children were somewhere within the destructive remnants. Initial assessments concluded the children had perished in the inferno, their forms consumed by the intense heat. However, a perplexing detail emerged. Despite the widespread belief that the children had met a grim fate within the flames, no physical remains were ever found. No bone fragments, no discernible traces. Fire officials suggested the fire was so hot that it completely vaporized the bodies, an assertion that defied scientific understanding. Experts later confirmed that even in the most intense house fires, skeletal structures usually survive. This absence fueled Jennie Sodder's unwavering conviction her children had not perished in the fire. She believed they had been removed from the house before the blaze, a belief that would drive her, and later her surviving children, for the rest of their lives. In the days and weeks that followed, strange occurrences began to surface. A woman claimed she saw the missing children watching the fire from a passing car. Another witness reported seeing the children being driven away in a vehicle by unknown individuals earlier that night. These snippets of information, though verified, hinted at a more complex narrative. Years turned into decades, but the Sodder family never gave up. They erected a large billboard on Highway 16, featuring large pictures of their 5 missing children, offering a reward for any information. This public plea became a landmark, a constant reminder of their enduring hope and unanswered questions. The mystery attracted national attention, leading to a brief involvement by the FBI. However, they ultimately deferred to local authorities, citing a lack of jurisdiction. The family's appeals to various levels of government and law enforcement yielded little progress, leaving them to pursue their own investigations. In the mid-1960s, a surprising discovery was made at the site of the fire. A small calcified fragment, roughly the size of a human vertebra, was unearthed during excavation efforts. Sent for analysis, the results were inconclusive, stating it was a fragment of a limb or vertebra, but couldn't definitively confirm if it was human or animal, or whether it was truly from the site's original occupants. Then, in 1967, nearly 22 years after the fire, Jennie received a startling photograph in the mail. It was a picture of a young man, appearing to be in his 20s, with a handwritten note on the back: "Louis Sodder, I love brother Frankie, hello boys, Anna 2000, 132 or 35. This was a potential breakthrough, a tangible sign of life. The family hired a private detective to follow up on the lead, traveling to Florida where the postmark suggested the photo originated. Despite their efforts and the tantalizing possibility, the detective found no definitive trace of the sender or the young man in the photograph. The identity of the person in the photo and the sender remains unverified to this day. Over the years, various theories have circulated. Some believe the fire was accidental, caused by faulty wiring or a coal stove, and the children's remains were indeed consumed, despite scientific doubts. Others suggest the children were abducted, possibly as an act of retribution against George Sodder, who was known for his outspoken opinions against certain community figures. The possibility of a deeper, more nefarious plot has always lingered. Was it a kidnapping that went awry? Were the children silenced to prevent them from identifying their captors? Or were they indeed taken and raised elsewhere, living under new identities, unaware of the family's relentless search? George Sodder passed in 1968 and Jennie in 1989, never knowing the truth about their 5 children. The surviving Sodder children continued their parents' quest, driven by deep love and an unshakable need for closure. The billboard remained a silent sentinel until the passing of the last surviving sibling, Sylvie Sodder Paxton, in 2021. The disappearance of the Sodder children remains one of America's most perplexing unsolved mysteries. Was it a tragic accident with an unprecedented outcome, or a calculated vanishing with sinister undertones? Without definitive answers, the story continues to baffle, a poignant reminder of a family's enduring hope against a shroud of uncertainty. What are your thoughts on this enduring enigma? Do you believe the children perished in the flames, or were they taken? Share your theories in the comments below. If you found this exploration compelling, please like this video and subscribe for more deep dives into history's most puzzling events. Thank you for watching.